on, everybody? Welcome to the Long Snappers Football Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Fielder, alongside my partners in crimes, my side bitches, as some people will call them. I've got John Palazzo.
Yeah. They call that the double dab.
I've got the only Jets, I've got one of my two Jets fans, Scott Fingeroff.
Suck for Sam! Suck for Sam! Suck for Sam!
It's gonna be disappointing
It's
when
being
he
a Jets
doesn't
fan.
go
I'm
to
joined
the
alongside my Buccaneers fan, the only one that ever exists in this world, Cal Friedman.
Mike Evans.
Odell.
And I'm joined alongside the other New York Jets fan
And Ginger.
and I guess a Notre Dame fan, Tommy Nowitzki.
Last but not least.
Got a large host of topics.
His
today.
camera
That's
is
really weird,
frozen,
and
so I
I'm gonna
apologize
regret
about that.
later. But so today is our football preview episode, podcast, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna go through each playoff team from both the AFC and the NFC. And then two teams that are gonna miss out, but just barely. And in Cal's case, none of them are gonna be the Buccaneers. And then we'll be going over each of the awards that we have set in place, which are the MVP, the offensive and defensive player of
Long
the year,
snapper of the year.
offensive and defensive rookie of the year, coach of the year, and comeback player of the year.
And Ginger of the year.
No, Cal, no, John, we're not doing long snapper of the year because the only answer there is John Denny.
True.
And Ginger of the year is Tommy.
Oh yeah, and Ginger of the year, which is just going to be Tommy Nowitzki every year.
No, what about Andy Dalton?
Dolly does deserve
Yeah,
anything in
but
this
Tommy's
one,
not a
okay?
choke artist.
And idiot of the year is Kevin Fielder, who decides to make a football podcast and include two Jets fans on it.
Hey,
Yeah! Guys, I just have a really good question. So the Jets' record during the preseason, it had a number other than 0 at the start of the record.
Yeah, but remember,
Is
the
that
Detroit
not
Lions...
winning?
The Detroit
Is that
Lions
how
went
you
4-0 in the preseason and then lost all 16 of the regular season games.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, anyways,
We went 2-2, and we almost went 3-1. But fucking
Don't blow it.
2-point conversion failure by freaking Elijah McGuire.
Jeez. I love how he's that upset over preseason. But you know what this podcast signals? The preseason is finally fucking over. Let's get into some real
Thank
football.
God.
shut up, Cal. The preseason isn't over.
Julian Edelman is injured.
Anyways,
Odell might
so
be
the order we're
injured.
going to be doing this is division winners first, then we'll go to wild card teams, first two out, awards, and then we'll go through the playoffs. So let's go to division winners. John, who are your four division winners in the AFC?
Should I do it in order by seed or order by division?
Go order by division. Let's start with the East.
Okay, AFC or NFC?
AFC.
We're doing AFC. Listen next
Okay.
time.
Okay. AFC East, I have, shocker, the New England Patriots winning the division.
Hot
Whoa.
take.
I know, right?
Scott, who is your AFC East winner?
Wait, you didn't let me explain it.
No, I'm fucking with you.
Do you need to explain it?
The New England Patriots have a future Hall of Famer in Tom Brady at quarterback. They got Brandon Cooks, Gronk's back. They're gonna win the AFC East.
John.
They're probably only gonna lose one game.
We get it, and then the Giants are gonna beat them in the Super Bowl.
I mean,
no.
I mean, if you insist.
If you insist. I mean, I guess.
Okay, Scott, who's your AFC East division winner? I think we already know this.
The
Jets.
Patriots.
Cal,
The Patriots.
Tommy.
Whoa. Wow.
His
That was
voice
such
is
a
so low on my
controversial.
screen, so
Wait,
he
Kevin,
just says it so
Kevin,
softly. The
who-
New England
you're-
Patriots.
Please to the Lords of Football, do not say the Miami Dolphins.
Well, my AFC East division winner is the New York Jets rival, the New England Patriots.
It would have been the Dolphins, but Tannehill got injured, so.
We were mentioned.
It's the only time you'll be mentioned all year.
Until the first overall pick.
Up next, we have the AFC North. So let's start with Tommy this time.
What? I don't know.
Give the people.
I can hear a word he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone tell him to fix his mic.
Yeah.
Speak up.
Just start screaming.
I think it might be because he has earbuds in.
I don't know. Here, Shree.
The Steelers.
Oh, the
Okay.
Steelers.
Okay.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right, Cal, who do you have winning the AFC North?
I have the Steelers, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than most people think. I don't know. I have a good feeling that the Bengals this year, maybe they'll just miss the playoffs, but I think they'll give the Steelers a bit of a run for their money. But I do feel the Steelers are the best team. If Big Ben stays healthy, they have one of the best offenses in the league. Plus, their defense is starting to improve off of what was really a train wreck for a majority of the regular season last year.
It's still
So,
going to
yeah,
be a don't worry.
I don't know. James Harrison, you never know. He is one of two players that I've watched or one of three players that I've watched who found the fountain of youth. The other two are Adam Vinatieri and Rondé Barber.
Of
Well,
course,
Adam Vinatieri will always have the fountain of youth on his side.
Same with Matt Bryant.
And him.
of course, last year the AFC North complete train wreck of division almost. The second place team, the Baltimore Ravens, went 8-8. Scott, who
nice
do you have
facts.
winning the AFC North?
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
What a surprise!
How the Steelers winning the NFC North or AFC North will break the NFL.
Yeah, totally. John, who do you have winning the AFC North?
I have the Cleveland Browns rival, the Pittsburgh
God.
Steelers, winning the division. You have Big Ben at quarterback, who, when Landry Jones isn't in the game, because of injury, that team is doing good things with Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant, and Le'Veon Bell on offense.
Week 1, it will be Pittsburgh Steelers cornerback. Oh my God.
Joe Hayden.
Joe Hayden versus Cleveland Browns wide receiver Sammy Coates.
And Sammy Coates now, too. And they just got a new tight end, and I can't remember his name.
David Njoku?
No,
he's not talking about
Steelers.
the Browns. He's talking about the Steelers.
The Steelers.
Oh, the Steelers?
They just traded
It's
for one.
Still Jesse
Yeah.
James, no?
No, they just traded for
No,
one.
they traded for another one today.
I'll look.
But
I
he's,
didn't see that.
he's a pretty good tight end. I think he'll help the already really good offense that has a lot going for them. And their defense now with Joe Hayden, a great cornerback, and James Harrison, who never seems to get old. I remember a few years ago he retired. And
Oh,
Now
Vance
he's back.
McDonald was the tight end.
yeah, Vance McDonald. He's pretty good, I've heard. So, yeah, I have the Steelers winning by a decent margin, like 3-4 games.
I as well have the Pittsburgh Steelers. So through the first two divisions of football, we share a consensus on who's going to win both of those
3 out of the
divisions.
4 AFC ones, we probably have a consensus.
And we'll see. Next up, let's go with, I think, the other one that we will have consensus on. The AFC West.
The West.
Let's start with John. John, who do you have winning the AFC West?
I thought it said West.
The Beast.
Is mayonnaise an instrument? Okay.
No, John, mayonnaise is not an instrument.
Okay,
Horseradish is
I
also
just
not
needed to
an
check. But I have winning the AFC West the Oakland Raiders.
Shocker. Just
Wow.
complete shocker.
Wow.
Derek Carr has become one of the better
Okay,
quarterbacks in the
we
NFL.
get it. He got
come
hurt. He got hurt, and now he's healthy. Yeah.
Amari Cooper has become one of the top receivers in the NFL. A former Bama man. I appreciate that. But and
Always got to slip in the Bama shit.
they just got a
Hashtag
nice new running back in Marshawn Lynch. I understand he's old. He may not be back to form.
That guy should be in a retirement
Well,
home.
new for the Raiders. And Latavius Murray as his backup shouldn't be too bad.
No, Latavius
Murray's in
Murray.
Minnesota, mate.
It's just not John's day.
Okay. Michael Crabtree's still in a uniform, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. They have Michael Crabtree and Amari Cooper. I think that's a great receiving core with Derek Carr quarterback. We saw what they could do last year when everyone's healthy, and their defense with a guy like Khalil Mack at linebacker. I think they'll win the division just barely over the Chiefs, though. I think the Chiefs will have a good year, too.
Cal, who do you have winning the AFC West? The Chiefs.
You said.
Yeah.
You said we'd have like a consensus.
Wait, whoa. Did he just ask if the Chiefs win the AFC West?
Not the Chiefs win the Steelers.
Well, I'm kind of surprised Kevin was like, "Oh, we're gonna have a clear consensus on it," because I disagree. I think the Chiefs are gonna win this division. I think
Chiefs
on paper it doesn't look like that great of a team, but the way it plays together when you have players like Tyreek Hill, Spencer Ware, Justin Houston, it's a really solid team they have there in Kansas City. Come playoff time, I really don't know what to think of them, but I'm not 100% sure about how Derek Carr is going to come back. I also have no idea if Marshawn Lynch can just come out of retirement and be beast mode again, even though he has remained in great shape. So, with that in mind, I've got the Chiefs.
Now, John,
Come to me next.
Cal, I have a question for you regarding this. You mentioned the offense, and I'm concerned because losing, almost not even losing him, just getting him off your team, Jeremy Maclin, that leaves a very big hole at wide receiver. Whether he was consistent enough to be a number one wide receiver in the NFL, he was still a really good number two. And I think the issue is, I think Cal answered this. What do you do if, for example, Tyreek Hill starts to struggle early in the year?
Well, you do have Kelsey right behind him, and you could turn into easily like what the Carolina Panthers are and have Greg Olsen as your number one wideout because all your other wide receivers are terrible.
Somewhere over the Dwayne Bowe.
But so they've lost Macklin.
And I know he's not on the Chiefs anymore.
Are you sure about that?
But I still have a lot of faith in the Chiefs. I think come playoff time, I lose all the faith. That's pretty much me with the Washington. The Chiefs are basically the Washington Capitals of the NFL. You have a bunch of faith in them in the regular season. Come playoff time, just forget about them. They're not doing anything.
Okay, up next, we'll go with Scott. Who do you have winning the AFC West?
The Raiders.
Okay.
Understandable.
Tommy,
Have a good day.
Last but not least, the Raiders.
And remember, he said that he made that prediction when he thought the Chiefs were in the other division.
No, he made that prediction when he made his original prediction when he thought that the Raiders were in the AFC North.
It's all in the past. It's just a prank. It's just a prank. I was just testing you guys.
All right. Well, to finalize this one, I have, of course, the Oakland Raiders winning this division. I think I don't even know if Marshawn Lynch is the reason why they'll win this division, because if you look past Marshawn Lynch in that running back depth chart, they've got options, and their options are still arguably some of the best backup options in the league. Players like DeAndre Washington and Jalen Richard looked good last year. Maybe not great, maybe not world beaters, but they looked like they could hold their own in an NFL thing. While they were both rookies last year, I believe they were both rookies last year, they both at least show talent, and I think that's going to be a reason why Marshawn Lynch will at least stay healthy for a majority of this year, is because he won't be having a bulk of the carries like what he did in Seattle. I think if Derek Carr can come back from the injury and look like Derek Carr, who arguably last year was a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, even if not arguably, he was
top 5.
You could definitely argue about top 5. I think even top 7 is probably where you draw the limit on him. I think really the only team that really is going to give them a run for their money is the Chiefs. I don't know if the Broncos can hold their own, and I don't know if the Chargers have enough weapons to even be enough. So in that one, we almost had a consensus, and then Cal ruined that with the Kansas City Chiefs.
But they're in the North.
Up next, let's go with, I think, the one division that we will not have any type of consensus on. And arguably the worst division in football, the AFC.
Again.
Yeah, again.
Well, the South might give them a run for their money.
I literally just said
Or the NFC
We are
South.
talking about
The NFC South, I mean.
We have the
the Falcons.
Falcons and the Buccaneers.
And the Panthers and the Saints. But I see where John's coming from because the South is always really good or really bad. There's no in the middle.
Okay, well, anyways, regardless of that, let's start off with John, or we'll actually start off with Scott this time. Who do you have winning the AFC South?
Okay. I have the Tennessee Titans winning the AFC South. I just feel like Mariota has a lot of weapons this year with DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry as running back. They added Decker to the receiver step, and I just feel like they'll have a pretty good. I think the Texans will give them a run for their money, but I think that the Titans will win the division.
Okay. I mean, not really that surprising, I'd say. Up next, we'll go with Cal. Who do you have winning the AFC South?
You know what? This is really a toss-up because you've got one team who's got such a good offense and a mediocre defense, and you've got another whose offense could be either really good or really bad and a very good defense. So, in my mind,
Tom Savage
defense.
is the Texans starting quarterback. Let's just remember that.
Deshaun Watson is, yeah?
No, Tom Savage is.
That's a really bad decision.
Did Watson not win the job?
No, Savage won the job.
My nose is bleeding. I'm gonna. Okay.
But with that in
Turn your
mind,
camera off.
with that in
His
mind,
camera's not moving on my screen.
Technical difficulties.
With that in mind, with a defense as good as the Texans, it's hard not to see them win that division, even though that quarterback fiasco might be hard.
Tom
You still have a
Savage, why are you
very-
trapping so hard?
You still have a very good wideout in DeAndre Hopkins. That defense, you've got Watt, who's going to be back to full health. Jadeveon Clowney, Whitney Merciless. It's such a good team. Or not Whitney. Yeah. No, not Whitney Merciless. I don't know what I'm talking about. Bulla, yeah. I don't know why I said Merciless, but Bulla was what I meant. So I think it's going to be close. I think it'll definitely come down to how it was last year. Very close, and then Mariota unfortunately got hurt. But I think the Texans will win it with defense.
Defense wins championships, you know what they say.
Next up, we'll go with John. John, who do you have winning the AFC South?
This was tough for me. It was between two teams, and it was the two teams Scott and Cal mentioned as their division winners. But I think... I think I have to go with the Texans, even if Tom Savage is their quarterback. I have to agree with Cal here, because I don't know if, for the Titans, there's just a lot of what-ifs. Like, is Mariota going to have a good season?
I will be right back.
Is DeMarco Murray going to have the type of season he had last year, which was incredible, and something he didn't do when he left the Cowboys and went to the Eagles, that bounce-back season? Is he going to have a season like that again? And who knows how Eric Decker's going to do at wideout, or how any of their wideouts are going to do. And who knows how good Delaney Walker will be at tight end. Yes, he's had weeks where he's a sufficient player, word to my fantasy teams in the past, but some weeks where he just falls off a cliff. So I think you can't trust the Titans, and I think the Texans' defense, Tom Savage, to be fair, did not do terrible when he played last year. Like, he wasn't the best, but he did better than Osweiler. He won that starting job, and he did decent, and just enough to get that team moving a little bit. And they played the Patriots, to be fair, so you really can't blame him. But, yeah, I think with a guy like DeAndre Hopkins at wideout, Lamar Miller at running back, those are two good options on offense, a defense that includes the best defensive end in the league, arguably, and just that, again, that defense in general, I gotta go with the Texans here. Just by a tiny bit. Another division where I see the margin being small, but I'm gonna have to go with the Texans.
And is Tommy here? Okay, Tommy is here. Tommers is back from his nosebleed.
Wait, does
Tommy,
this camera
who
work
did
on
the
your
AFC
screen?
South?
So who did everybody else pick?
Me and John took the Texans, and Scott took the Titans.
Wait, is Tommy's camera moving on your screens?
Yeah, your
Yeah.
screen is broken.
Oh, it's just yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going with the Colts.
Oh,
Whoa.
all right.
Whoa.
Controversial.
Ew.
I wouldn't say you, because we
Ugh.
literally just said it. The division's a toss-up.
I think
Between two teams.
Tommy, do you care to explain your choice of the Colts?
T.Y.
are
Hilton,
Andrew
though.
Luck, all right. He likes throwing big bombs. The players would probably want to catch them. So around 50% of the time, I see the receivers coming down with the ball. I think T.Y. Hilton's on that team. He's kind of good.
This is just like when Tommy named the Heat as the 8 seed last year, and he's like, well, because I like the letter H.
Probably gonna break his leg. Mariota's trash. Mariota's just really bad. Decker will probably die. Go with the Colts.
All right.
I picked the Heat because I like the letter H.
Well, for me in that division, I'm going to go with the Texans. I think I'm concerned about their offense, yes, and I don't know whether the choice of rolling with Tom Savage to begin the season is the best idea, but they do have some like Sean Watson. I mean, we're waiting in the shadows almost. If Savage is to struggle like Osweiler did last year, I doubt it really, but they'll at least have an option off the bench to at least hold their own. Their defense is going to be great again. I don't think anyone's concerned about their defense. Their defense will arguably a top 10 defense, if not top 7 defense in the NFL this year. I think the defensive line is one of the best in the NFL. I think the secondary can hold its own. Linebackers not terrible. I like the Titans this year. I really do like them. I'm concerned about how good their wide receivers are going to be all year, because a lot of those wide receivers are new players into the system. It's not keeping a consistency from what it was last year. Bringing in new guys like Decker and Corey Davis. Corey Davis, a rookie. Definitely going to be a little bit concerning. But I think they'll be fine.
Okay. First off, my mic was just off for a second. I had to go downstairs and grab something, and I forgot to turn it back on.
Did you have to grab a condom, or what's the deal now?
No, we have something to.
The cardboard box.
We have a 50th birthday party tomorrow. My mom's collecting gifts, so we need to get the money from someone. But
happy 50th birthday to whoever that is. Well, happy birthday from the Unfiltered.
Yeah.
We have an updated.
We throw
trade.
birthday parties.
We have an updated trade. Turned out that Buffalo traded cornerback Kevon Seymour to the Carolina Panthers for wide receiver Kalen Clay.
Who?
Who?
I don't know who either of those are.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's move on to the NFC. This one's going to be a little bit interesting, I think. I think a few of these divisions are going to be toss-ups. Let's start with the one that I don't think any of us are going to think it is a toss-up. Let's start off with the NFC North. Cal, who do you have winning the NFC North?
I have the Chicago Bears rival.
Oh my God.
Green Bay
Dead
Packers.
meme. Dead meme.
Wow, who made that joke? Wasn't me or anything.
It was AJ DeVito.
New England just got a new defensive end. Seattle has traded defensive end Cassius Marsh.
He's actually pretty good.
The New England Patriots.
Great. Of course the Patriots got someone good.
And the rich get rich
ranking.
For real. Alright, so yeah, I've got the Packers.
No, I
There's
don't
not
think
really much choice to it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any surprise there.
Cal, check my last retweet.
Scott, who do you have winning the NFC North?
The Green Bay Packers.
Whoa, hot take alert, no.
Would you like to explain why?
No.
They're a good football team.
No,
there.
not really. The rest of their division is pretty bad.
Well, yeah, when Sam Bradford's the quarterback of the biggest team that could beat you, yeah. I couldn't get that sentence out.
Last year was not bad. He wasn't great either, but he wasn't terrible.
I'd like to mention that Tommy did not know Sam Bradford was starting until like a few days ago.
Yes, I did. I just want to know what happened to Teddy Bridgewater. I didn't know he was still injured.
Okay. Anyways, John, who do you have winning the NFC North?
Is Calvin Johnson still on the Lions? No, I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding. I gotta go with the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, the best quarterback in the NFL. Fight me. Weapons like Jordy Nelson and Ty Montgomery at running back, who really had a breakout season once they put him over Eddie Lacy last year. And although they lost Jared Cook, they did pick up Martellus Bennett. And Aaron Rodgers can make the Packers offense good no matter what he has. He'll throw some Hail Mary bombs. They'll come down in the end zone.
To beat the Giants with a little bit of time left in the NFC second round.
Well, that was a blowout last year, to be fair. And it was in the wild card. And Odell punched a wall. But although their defense does have... Oh, I forgot to say, they also have Randall Cobb, who is a pretty good receiver, too. And on the other end, although their defense, their cornerbacks are... and their defense is meh, I think their offense could put them over. We saw that with the Falcons last year. They do have Ha Clinton Dix, who is one of the best safeties in the NFL. Out of Alabama, another Bama boy, representing.
Hey, when we were in the AFC,
Roll
we
Tide.
forgot to mention the Jets rival.
Or Darius Stewart.
Yeah. The
Hashtag Bama bias.
Yeah.
Hashtag Roll Tide, motherfucker.
But in summary, the Packers have a great offense. Their defense is met, but I think they'll get over that hump and still win a fairly weak division, where the second best team in that division has Sam Bradford or Matthew Stafford, whoever you want to consider the second team in that division, as their quarterback. And we know Mitch Trubisky is not going to be winning the division anytime soon, so...
That's your opinion.
Of course, Matthew Stafford just got a huge contract suspension, becoming the highest paid quarterback in NFL history.
How has Eli Manning not gotten paid that yet?
So, Tommy, who do you have winning the NFC North? Whoa, surprise!
He just says it so soft. The Packers.
Anyways,
I'm
gonna
harder
finish
than a
this off.
pencil right now.
I'm gonna finish this off.
Oh, fuck,
we're just
that
let's just end this. The Packers win that division. I don't think there's any surprise.
That was weird. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, please, not safe for work 2017. Next division that we'll go after is I think another division that's kind of self-explanatory. The NFC West. I'm gonna assume we all have the Seahawks, but let's just go over this just to be sure. John, please tell me you've got the Seahawks win that division.
I have.
The 49ers rival, the Seattle Seahawks.
Fuck! Okay. But I do have the Seahawks with challenge from the Arizona Cardinals. But I still have the Seahawks winning. They have a top 5 defense in the NFL, and they just got a guy in Sheldon Richardson who is a great defensive tackle from the Jets. And although they did lose a big receiver in Jermaine Kersey, they still have Doug Baldwin. They have Eddie Lacy now at running back, along with Thomas Rawls. I'm not sure who's going to start. I suppose Lacy, because he has been slimming down. He's not feast mode anymore.
Feast mode.
But Russell Wilson, when his offensive line isn't Swiss cheese, is a great quarterback. I can relate to bad offensive lines, but Russell Wilson shown when he could get the ball off in time and wasn't getting thrown into the ground that he is a competent quarterback and led that team all the way to the playoffs and ultimately lost because of that offensive line. But this is a team that can still win this division, a fairly weak division where only 2 of the teams, and some people may only think they're the only good team in that division. I think that defense is just too good not to... Like, Richard Sherman's there. Like, it's Richard Sherman.
Sherman's there. What more do we have to say?
LOB!
So, of course, The Seattle Seahawks, as John mentioned, do have a logjam of sorts, but a good logjam at running back with Eddie Lacy, Thomas Rawls. The first
Beast mode.
The first depth chart that came out for the Seattle Seahawks has Thomas Rawls as the starter, but Pete Carroll unwilling to give either of them the majority of the carries. Well, I guess, Scott, who do you have winning the NFC West?
The team that just traded for Isaiah Battle from the Chiefs, the Seattle Seahawks.
Surprising. Cal, I'm going to assume...
Oh, yeah, the Seahawks just acquired Isaiah Battle from the Chiefs, by the way.
Cal, I'm going to assume you also have the Seahawks winning that division.
I'm going to keep it short and sweet. This is going to be a very close division, and I'm saying Week 17, whoever wins that game between Cardinals and Seahawks makes the playoffs. The other one doesn't.
Right.
I don't have a lot of faith in the Seahawks because, like, you watched them last year, and it's just inconsistent after inconsistent. They hardly won a few of their games last year. Playoffs, they looked shambles, like, compared to the better teams. Like, they got the Lions in the first round and hardly beat them, and then got murdered by Atlanta. I don't like their team. They're playing a lot of teams, i.e. the Colts, the Rams, twice as usual, the Texans, a lot of teams that have very good defensive lines that will really make it hard for them to win those 50-50 games. The Eagles as well. It's going to be hard for the Seahawks this year to win the division as easily as they did last year. But in the end, I don't have enough trust in the Cardinals defense after losing arguably one of their better players, Calais Campbell, and I don't have enough faith in Carson Palmer to have a bounce-back year with how old he is. So, Seahawks, but not by much.
Tommy, safe to assume that you also have the Seahawks? I'm going to finish this off. I have the Seahawks, but as Cal mentioned, I do think it will go to Week 17, and I do think the Seattle Seahawks will be able to hold off any type of pursuit from the Arizona Cardinals. So the kind of divisions that we all kind of expected to be kind of fairly easy ones, I think. Now we'll go over to the one that I think might be a little bit more challenging to predict. The NFC South. Sorry, I had to check
that one.
So we'll start off with the Buccaneers fan. Cal, who do you have winning that division?
It's always going to be a toss-up with this division, even when the talent level in the division is low or when it's high. It's always going to be a toss-up. And this hurts to say as a Bucs fan, but I still think the Falcons are better than us. They had an unbelievable team last year. I don't see it changing. Plus, they've got a very good pass rusher in Dontari Poe, which is exactly what they needed because their pass rush was one of the weakest parts of that team last year. Their secondary still needs a bit of work if they really are to dominate the NFC and really look like a Super Bowl winning team for years to come. But it definitely looks like a team that not only can win the division, but definitely win the conference.
Of course, that division, never really a guarantee on who wins that division. Let's go over to Scott. Who do you have winning that division?
Okay, the team winning that division is the reigning Super Bowl. Oh wait, no, they blew a 28-3 lead. The Falcons.
Nice. Someone had to make that joke.
I got to it before the rest of you guys did.
Pretty much.
3-1 lead.
That's 3-1.
28 plus 3 equals 31. Warriors blew a 3-1 lead.
Well, he knows math, guys.
Whoa.
Let's go over to John. Who do you have winning that division?
Not the Falcons.
Wow.
I have the Buccaneers winning the division.
Yeah, I knew someone was going to pick that.
I want to hear this one.
Okay.
I want to hear this one.
I think this is going to be Now, this is only going to be if one thing happens, and that's if Jameis Winston can stay consistent. If he can't, it's going to the Falcons. But I believe
it's not consistency as if Jameis Winston can stay healthy.
That
Winston's
too.
never had a problem with injury.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Jameis Winston, I think he'll have a really good year this year, and I think he'll be consistent for the most part. Yes, running back is a question with Doug Martin suspended again, but Jacquizz Rodgers really, I think, in my opinion, performed pretty well with Martin out last year. And
Admirably.
Charles Sims is a nice piece there, too. Mike Evans and Deshaun Jackson is a phenomenal receiving core, no matter how old Deshaun Jackson is. Even if Winston isn't that consistent, he has so many weapons that that they can make him look good. And with a tight end in Cameron Brate, who's really up and coming, and I believe is a really good tight end, and a defense that, again, is kind of like my team's defense, is a top defense in the NFL, and really can push people.
Wait. First of all, Cal, stop. Go ahead, John.
Really can push people to the edge. All their friends are dead, and
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
what's his name? The really good defensive tackle.
Joe McCoy.
Gerald McCoy. And with Gerald McCoy at defensive tackle, arguably the best defensive tackle in the league, him or Donkey Kong Sue.
The Donkey Kong Sue.
But just Brent Grimes had a pretty good year at cornerback too. And that whole team in general, I think their defense, and if their offense is on, even if Winston isn't consistent, like I said, he has the pieces to make him look like he's having a decent year. So I'm going to go with the Buccaneers as a kind of surprise pick to people, but I think this could be their breakout year. They showed they have the talent last year, and adding a guy like Deshaun Jackson.
You forgot Bama bias.
And not really losing too many good pieces in the offseason, I think that's a win-win, and I think they win the division closely. I think the Falcons will be right behind, but yes, close. I think they'll win.
Interesting one, I'm going to say the least. Is Tommy here, or is his nose still bleeding?
Take that as a no.
He's going to come back and be like...
He's not here.
He's going to come back and be like, what you saying?
So I guess I'll go with my choice. I do think the Buccaneers will have a better year than they did last year. I don't know if it will result in a better record, because, of course, in football, records change based on who you play, really. And the Buccaneers having at least a semi-tough schedule. They're not going to go in there and walk over every
Pretty tough schedule, yeah.
I think, honestly, I'm going to be honest right now. I have the Buccaneers finishing third in that division. I think I'll go over why later. I don't want to go over it now. No point going over it now, but I'm going to go with winner of that.
Cow's triggered. I smell apple pie.
Kevin,
I like apple pie.
I'm sorry, but the Broncos just signed Brock Osweiler.
No way. No way. No way. I'm texting David right now.
I'm sorry, but they just signed Brock Osweiler.
It's true. According to Mary K. Cabot on Twitter. Oh my God.
And Ian Rappaport. Browns will pay Brock Osweiler $16 million minus the minimum salary the Broncos are expected to pay him.
What a dude.
I love football. I love
legend. What a legend.
I guess now the question is who's winning that quarterback job. I still think it's going to be Simeon, but I think it's still.
You know what? God damn it! Why do we do the AFC first? I'm changing my prediction. Screw the Chiefs. The Broncos are winning it now. All right.
Anyways, after we got sidetracked by the Broncos being the Broncos, I have the Atlanta Falcons winning that division. I don't think it's going to be easy per se, but I think they'll win it by at least a couple games. I think this year, I think almost they got better. I think almost the Falcons got better as a team. While losing Kyle Shanahan is a big loss to that offense, I think they'll still be able to at least hold their own, and they won't be. Obviously, they're going to take a step back. Because last year, an historic offense, historic paces. Obviously, a reason they made the Super Bowl a lot because of their offense, even going up 28-3, excuse me, in that Super Bowl. Obviously, I guess I'll have the Falcons winning it. And is Tommy back yet, or is his nose still bleeding?
Tomer. No, he's not here. All right, move on.
All right, we'll go ahead without him, and if he joins us, he'll go with his picks. Let's go with the wild cards now.
Wait, no.
You forgot my division.
Oh, wait, did we?
Yeah.
Oops. Probably should keep track of what I'm doing. Anyways, I guess
Hashtag fielder out.
NFC East. We'll go with the Giants fan of the division. John, who do you have?
Okay. I have the New York Giants winning the division.
Oh, I never would have guessed it.
But this time it makes sense.
Yeah.
Arguably the best defense in the NFL. I'd say third best behind Broncos and Seahawks. But a top 3 defense in the NFL featuring guys like Landon Collins, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, Janoris Jenkins, the Jackrabbit, former Alabama defensive tackle and new second-round draft pick Dalvin Tomlinson, who can play at defensive tackle with guys like Jonathan Hankins. We got back Casillas. Our linebackers were shaky, but everywhere else on the defense is beast. Jason Pierre-Paul and Olivier Vernon. Yeah, Olivier Vernon, that's what I said. He's back and better than ever. Even with 7.5 fingers, Pierre-Paul's going to go out there and smash like he did last year. And then on offense, a shaky factor last year, and the reason probably they didn't win the division. Also along with the Cowboys' breakout year. Again, it's a question of consistency. I think we'll win the division even if Eli is inconsistent. But I think McAdoo's second year as head coach now, 4th year with the team. And as you've noticed, Eli has settled down with McAdoo in the system and using that system. So I think he'll be back on track this year and a little more consistent. He still will have his boneheaded interceptions, but not as many. And with his top 2 receivers being Odell Beckham Jr., Brandon Marshall, who's playing in the same stadium, just the other locker room, who I think will have a bounce back year with a guy like Eli Manning, a good quarterback to actually work with him, and slot receiver Sterling Shepard, second year. He had a breakout year last year. In the Offensive Rookie of the Year voting, he didn't win, of course, but he was close. I think he'll have a good year this year in the slot, especially now.
We got it.
Especially now with Victor Cruz gone, and again, Evan Ingram will be a question, but I think he'll have a pretty decent year at tight end. And finally, at running back, not many people believe, but I believe in Paul Perkins out of UCLA. I think he could have a pretty good year, even though our offensive line is shite.
Wait a minute. Did Paul Perkins actually go to UCLA?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he went to Mississippi.
No?
All right. No?
Well,
okay. Went UCLA. Okay.
Cardboard box.
What did I miss?
Your
I guess
NFC
go to,
West pick.
Tommy next. Tommy,
Here.
Oh, no, your NFC
Let me
South pick.
recap what
Your
happened
NFC South
first.
pick.
So, Tommy, 2 things.
Wait.
Draft
Scott. Let him.
Prediction on the NFC South,
Yes. No.
and the Broncos signed Brock Osweiler.
Okay.
Okay.
He didn't have the same reaction that all
It's
of
all
us.
coming together. It is.
Oh, and another thing I want to say. Brandon Brooks of the Philadelphia Eagles.
I hate
Word to Tommy in Roblox.
you.
Alright.
Where he pronounced Brook.
Alright.
So Tommy said the Falcons for the NFC South.
It's not official yet, but it's likely.
So Tommy has said the Falcons for the NFC South. So why don't we go to him for the NFC East? Sorry, I kind of took over there, Kevin.
Hey, John, I'm the fucking house. Please. NFC South or NFC North.
The Dallas Cowboys. They're from Dallas. They're good at football. They like
Who's their running back though?
Ezekiel Elliott, because he's gonna win the
Darren McFadden.
win the appeal, and he's gonna come back and he's gonna drop 18 on your head.
18.
Well,
18
according to
touchdowns.
multiple
18
sources, it
touchdowns.
looks unlikely that he will win that appeal for anything, even getting it
You
reduced.
can't hit women and get away with it.
going to go into logistics. He really never did hit anyone. But we'll go over that later. So after John's 20-minute explanation on why the Giants are the best team in football, according to him,
I said in the division. I never said in football.
we'll go to the we'll go to Cal. Cal, who do you have winning the NFC East?
I'm going to agree with John, but I'm not going to give as long as the explanation. I've got the Giants. Ultimately, I think the suspension of Zeke is hard on the Cowboys because it's going to. Okay, here's the thing about it. Is it really going to show how overrated or valued Zeke is? Because everyone's saying, oh, it's the offensive line. The only reason
It is the offensive line. He's not that good.
If McFadden's good, then it shows that it really is mostly the offensive line. But right now, I still have to take the Giants. They have a very, as John said, a very good defense, improve their wide receiving core. The question is, Eli, just get him to the playoffs and you're good, John. So I'm saying the Giants win the division.
Well, I'm going to disagree with what he said, but I'll go into why I disagree with that later. Scott, who do you have winning the NFC East?
It's hard for me to say this, but I have the Philadelphia. No, I'm just fucking with you.
No.
I have the Giants winning the division.
Flip shit. All right.
I have the Giants winning the division.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with my prediction now. I have winning that division. I have the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Cal, you mentioned the fact that this suspension, if it were to not get overturned and you were to spend the 6 games suspended from the NFL, would show how overrated or underrated. I don't remember exactly what we said Ezekiel Elliott would be. I have to disagree there. While a lot of it is because of the offensive line, because they do have one of the best offensive lines in football, there's no doubt about it. I think a lot of it's just Ezekiel Elliott's one of the best runners in the NFL right now. Naturally,
I agree with that.
I mean, naturally, he breaks a lot of tackles. He finds the right hole. Yes, the offensive line will create a lot of those holes, but I don't think necessarily this will show how overrated or underrated Ezekiel Elliott is. I don't think a lot of this is ran off what he does or what the offensive line does, because after that, you still have to get into the open field, and that's where Elliott is one of the best right now. Other than that, I do have the Dallas Cowboys winning the division because I think Dak Prescott, while he may suffer a sophomore slump, God, I cannot speak today.
Words are hard.
Words are hard. I still think they'll be fine. I think other than that, their defense will be fine. I mean, I don't really have any concerns about their defense. Their offense might have. I have a little bit of concern to see maybe if someone like Darren McFadden can hold his own in the first 6 or 4 or 2 or no weeks that he has to play. Really, we don't know how many weeks Ezekiel is going to be suspended. No decision has been made yet by the NFL. Really, the only reason I have them winning division is because I think the Giants usually do struggle later in the season. They don't win as many games. John, last year you thought they were going to get killed in the first round of the play. Oh wait, they did. Anyways, let's go over to the wild card teams now because we have gone over every division now.
Good job.
Halfway.
Yep. We have.
Okay. We'll go to the wild card. Let's start with the AFC. We'll start with we'll go with your first wild card seed and then your second wild card seed. So who do you guys have as the first wild card spot in the AFC, John?
Okay. In the first wild card spot in the AFC, that 5th spot. Actually, should we rank our division winners first?
No.
Nah. It's alright. Just go with the wild card team.
Okay. At the 5th spot. At the 5th spot, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. I think it's pretty obvious. Alex Smith is a legitimate quarterback, except in the playoffs. Although they lost Jeremy Maclin, they still have a good defense, and Travis Kelce could be his weapon, like Cal said. And although they did lose Spencer Ware, which is another setback, is what I mean to say. Kareem West.
Yeah. Kareem.
They also lost Terry Poe.
That's not going to be that close, honestly.
Yeah, but their defense is still that good.
Yeah. Their defense is that good. I think I think it's Kareem Hill.
It's Kareem Hunt.
It's
Kareem
Green
Hunt.
'cause Kevin Owens.
And Kareem Hunt.
How many other names are we going to go through, John? Is it Kareem John?
Okay, and Kareem Hunt, I think, will do good behind a decent offensive line. I'm going to go Chiefs at that 5th spot.
Okay. Scott, who do you have as the 5th team in the AFC?
Okay. As the 5th team playing the Tennessee Titans, I'm going to give my 4 seed away. I have the team whose logo not only looks like a ginger, but has a ginger at their quarterback position.
No
the
way.
Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeesh, come back.
Please go over this one. They didn't even have a winning record last year. Please.
I don't know.
Joe Mixon beating women.
I just feel like their running core and Andy Dalton could take them a pretty long trip. I could see that they're going to get eliminated in the first round, but I just feel like that they'll have a good year.
Surprising one, I'll be honest. John, who do you have? Or John, fix your hair. Cal, who do you have as the 5th seed in the AFC?
Well, pretty much all you guys had the excuse me. Most of you guys had this team winning the division. I didn't, but I do have them at the 5th spot. I have the Oakland Raiders, just because it's gonna be close between them. As I said earlier, it's gonna be close between them and the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs will nudge it, and I think the Raiders will go on to probably face the Texans in the first round again.
Okay. Tommy, who do you have as your 5th seed in the AFC? That's the division.
I picked the Colts to win the division. I have the Texans coming. Like that.
All right. No, like we said, defensive championships here.
They have J.J. Watt.
They have J.J. Watt.
$800 million.
Yeah, for real. Like,
Clap it up for J.J. Watt.
on a level.
Gerald Green, nicer.
He probably should win that Walter Payton Man of the Year award already.
Anyways, I guess I'll go with mine now because we've gone over everyone else's. My 5th team in the AFC, I don't have the Dolphins, surprisingly.
All right.
Because unlike some people in here, no, I'm not even going to say anyone. No.
It's obvious who it was.
Yeah. No, but I have as my 5th seed. Excuse me. I need to learn how to speak, honestly.
For real. You might need it.
No, I won't. No. Okay. My 5th seed is going to be the Chiefs. I think they're going to have a decent year, or a good year. I like Kareem Hunt in the backfield. Yes, John, his name is Kareem Hunt, not Kareem like anything else.
Kareem Hill.
Kareem Hicks.
Hunt.
Aaron.
He's like one of those Brazilians. He's got like 5 different last names.
Anyways, I think Kareem Hunt's going to have a good year. I liked him coming out of college, and I like him even now when he's getting a bulk of the carries. I like Tyreek Hill, but I do think he'll take a minor step back at least. I think Travis Kelce's going to be Travis Kelce. I don't think anyone's really concerned about what Travis Kelce's going to do.
I forgot about Tyreek Hill. Add that to my explanation about the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
Just throw that in there. Go back in time. Put it in there.
He's fast.
Other than that, I think their defense is it's a Chiefs defense. I mean,
it's just the Chiefs defense.
And I think otherwise than that, I don't think really there's any big teams to compete with them for that 5th wildcard spot. So let's go with the 6th wildcard team, or also known as the "We Barely Made It" award. We'll go with let's go with Cal here. Cal, who do you have as the 6th seed in the AFC?
It's a toss-up between 4 teams, in my opinion, because you've still got the Titans on the outside looking in. You have the Broncos with that quarterback struggle, but you still have a very good defense. You have a team that, in my opinion, could be a really shock team. No, that was not pun intended. No. I have to remember Los Angeles Chargers. Especially knowing today that Mike Williams will actually play this year. But none of those teams will make it. I think the Miami Dolphins, because I really like their defense. A lot of Dolphins fans, including Kevin, have said that's the questionable part about the team. I think the questionable part of the team is the offense. Will Jarvis Landry stay? I think he will. I don't think there's enough time in the season to really make a trade and expect to continuously win like they did last season. I think Ajayi will be a little worse than he was last season, but not completely bad. I think it'll take a few weeks for Jay Cutler to settle in, but I think once he settles in, he'll settle in, and I think the Dolphins will make it as that 6th seed yet again.
Well, to respond to what Cal said about Jarvis Landry, despite being in talks or despite being investigated by the NFL for a domestic violence charge, the Miami Dolphins have said they will not be trading him at least this season. We'll go with the next team here. We'll go
Beating women.
What? Your kicker last year was the definition of that. Do not get me started.
Respect women.
I respect women.
Anyways, we'll go with...
I respect
Scott
women.
Scott, who do you have winning the AFC or the 60, whatever?
Okay. So just like Cal, I have a couple teams that were like sort of there, but aside from like I didn't have the Texans, I have the Broncos in that little list, the Chargers, a bunch of other teams, the Bills, the Dolphins. I have the Chiefs as the 6th seed. You're lucky I have them in the playoffs because I think it's going to be really close between them, Denver, and Houston. But I think they'll pull it out and lose to the Steelers in round 1. And I gave away my 3 seed.
We'll go over with John next. John, who do you have winning? Or God, not winning. You're not winning anything.
You just made it.
Who do you have as the 6th seed in the AFC?
The Baltimore Ravens. I'll explain. Joe Flacco is elite.
I thought my Bengals pick was bad.
Joe Flacco is an elite quarterback.
Oh, shut up.
He now has Jeremy Maclin, a pretty good option at receiver, along with his running back, Terrence West, who Terrence West didn't do too bad last year, so I think he could be trusted behind that offensive line.
He didn't do too good either.
He didn't do too shabby either.
Dabby.
They have
Tommy, do you like dabbing?
They have the obvious tight end option in Dennis Pitta. They have a pretty strong defense, in my opinion, that could hold their own. And I think the Ravens are a team that... The Ravens are always a team that are around that playoff spot or in the playoffs, and I think this year they'll make it. Originally, I had the Dolphins in this spot, but when Tannehill went down, I changed my mind, and I have the Ravens in this spot, and that's why.
Well, another 20-minute explanation from John on why a team's going to be decent.
Dahmer.
Other than that, go to Tommy.
About the Bengals being your first wild card team, they're my second wild card team.
Hey, so I'm not the only one that looks like an idiot. I mean, Tommy has them as their second.
Yeah,
Second
Kevin.
wild card, and John has the Ravens.
The Ravens aren't that bad.
Okay,
Oh,
so
by the way,
second
Giants
Bengals
release
here.
quarterback Josh Johnson, kicker Mike Nugent, and tight end Will Tye.
Okay, so about the Bengals, they
Gino.
have a ginger quarterback. I mean, punter.
Ginger.
Well, I guess I'm going to go with who I have as my 6th wildcard team. I think no surprise here, honestly.
Wild card team.
Yeah. Well, no surprise here on who I have. Let's be real right now. The Miami Dolphins. I think, honestly, you know what? Just talk it up to. I wanted to put the Dolphins in here for a reason later in this stuff. Anyways, let's go to the NFC NFC wildcard, who do you guys have your 5th seed?
Me.
Scott.
I don't care who goes. Scott, go.
All right, Scott.
Okay, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as my first wild card. Obviously the Falcons. I have them winning the division, but I still feel that the Buccaneers are going to have a really, really outstanding performance this year. I feel like their offense is going to pick it up with Deshaun Jackson as another wide receiving option with Mr. Mike Evans. And overall, I just feel like they're a stronger team than they put out on the field last year.
Okay, John, who do you have as your 5th seed in the AFC?
NFC.
NFC, whatever. You know what I mean.
I have the Atlanta Falcons
Okay.
with Matt Ryan, last year's MVP. I can't believe.
Wait. Quick question. Are you guys, how long is this explanation going to take? 20 minutes or 30 minutes?
5 seconds, please.
Okay. Matt Ryan, last year's MVP. Yes, I said last year's MVP. Julio Jones, former Alabama. Well, I'm not wearing a jersey, but former Alabama player. Devontae Freeman, who's a top 5 running back in the league.
Okay, we get it.
And
We got it.
the
Former
I
MVP.
think
They
a
made the Super Bowl last year.
budding
They have an Alabama
defense.
nigger.
Well, God damn it, we're gonna get copyright claim now.
It's on the
Demonetized!
I had to.
Clickbait title. Scott says racist slur.
Keep going.
Okay, but a budding defense, and
Buddy.
yeah, the Falcons. They're the Falcons, even without Kyle Shanahan. You know the messages come up in the video too, Kevin, right?
God damn it, no. Oh, I didn't think that.
Hal, that is the best clickbait ever. Jew calls Julio Jones an Alabama nigger.
Oh my god.
Alright. Let's get away from that.
We've already been demonetized.
Yeah, let's get away from that before we lose every sub that we have, including me.
Wait, do we have like 4 subs?
Alright,
I
keep
don't
it.
know.
John, go.
I said the Falcons.
Oh, okay, Scott, who do you have?
I already went. I said the Buccaneers.
Alright, I have the Dallas Cowboys. Ultimately, even with the Zeke suspension, it'll keep them out of winning the division, but it really won't keep them out of the playoffs, will it? The question is, Darren McFadden and Alfred Morris, is it good enough for 6-7 weeks that they have without Zeke? I think it is. I think Dak will have another good year. He really improved towards the end of the season. Our defense raises eyebrows, but I think it's a good enough team to at least finish 5th in the wild card and maybe make a playoff run, which they failed to do last year.
Okay, Tommy, who do you have as 5th seed?
The New York Giants.
Okay. Respectable.
They're a good team, but not as good as the Cowboys. Probably the first round.
Okay.
Good enough.
So, Kevin.
Well, for me, I'm gonna go with the New York Giants as well. I think mainly because they're the 5th best team right now in the AFC because they lost out on the division.
AFC.
Doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
It's a football conference.
It's a football conference. They'll be the same when you get to the Super Bowl, anyways. I think really my concern with that team is the linebackers. I don't know if they will have any type of consistency at linebacker this year. I'm also a little bit concerned I'm really concerned with their offensive line. I don't know if honestly, can Matt Ryan stay alive this year is going to be the big issue. Other than that, I think they're going to be fine. We'll go with the 6th wildcard team and the final playoff spot. Let's go with John.
Okay.
Stop dabbing, please. Please.
I have
2017.
the Arizona Cardinals as my number 6 seed.
Respectable.
I feel Carson Palmer is in for a bounce-back year. He has Larry Fitzgerald, my favorite player in the NFL. Also, John Brown. Who
David Johnson.
I was getting there. David Johnson,
Okay, my bad.
in my opinion, the
And then
second
an
best running back
old
in the
quarterback.
NFL.
A really old quarterback.
Like
And,
80.
and I think that whole
Quarterback
offense,
fits last year.
when healthy, is great. And with guys like Calais Campbell and Patrick Peterson on defense, this team is going to make the playoffs and they're going to make the wild card. And possibly compete for that division.
Okay. We'll go with Scott here, I guess. Scott, who do you have as the 6th seed?
First up, the Jets quarterback last year was Bryce Petty. We're forgetting we're trying to forget about Fitzmagic and what was 2015, or the 2015-16 season, and now you got to deal with them as Jameis' backup. Anyway, worst backup in the league. And Bryce Petty and Christian Sackenberg are better than him. But my 6th seed are the Dallas Cowboys. Like Hal said, Zeke's suspension won't have them not make the playoffs. It'll just have them not contend for the division.
Okay. Cal, who do you have?
I think it's got to be the Bucks coming in at the 6th seed, because if you look at our team, we nearly made it last year. We kind of bottled it in the end. We bottled it in a few games. Should have beaten the Raiders. Could have easily beaten the Saints. We bottled it a few times last season. We lost to teams like the Rams as well that were just poor home losses. I think there's too many ifs with our team right now for me to really say we could beat the Falcons in the division and we can make a deep playoff run, because, as John said earlier, it's James' ability to stay consistent, but he's definitely got the weapons, because you look at the wide receiving core, he's got Deshaun Jackson, Mike Evans, Adam Humphries, O.J. Howard, who will be a very good piece because he's really
I forgot to mention him when talking about the Buccaneers, O.J. Howard.
And you've got Cameron Brate. You look at the defensive side, you've got still, in my opinion, the best linebacking duo in the league right now in Levante and Quan, Bam brothers. You've also got a secondary that looks to be improved, because it definitely needs to be. I think Vernon Hargreaves has started the preseason well. I know preseason isn't the biggest influence to it, but I think he's going to have a good second year. Just the question is staying healthy and having our young team, because everyone forgets our team, other than Grimes, is really, really young, which is...
And Deshaun Jackson.
And Deshaun, yeah. But going forward... We don't have Vincent Jackson anymore. He's retired. Yeah. V-Jax was great. Imagine we had V-Jax too. That'd be insane. But yeah. Second wild card, I'll take it. Even if we don't do anything in the playoffs, it'll be a good experience for the young players on our team.
Okay. We'll go with Tommy and then me, and then we'll go into whatever.
The two teams that just missed it.
Yeah.
Don't yell at me, please. The Carolina Panthers. Yeah. Cam Newton. He used to be good.
And then he wasn't.
He's coming back off of injury. Got his surgery. Maybe they put in like a really good arm, the arm that he already had, and now he's really hard, like a robot arm, basically. I think he can win everything possible.
Let's be for real. The only arm Cam got is the arm that can help you dab better.
Okay, more dab reference.
Why, Tommy? Why?
Because they're going to. Remember when I made the Rockets a 3 seed and everybody, the hell, you're wrong.
Remember when I said the Celtics were the 1 seed?
6 seed this year.
Oh, God.
God.
All right.
Anyway,
Save this for the basketball predictions.
anyways, I'm going to go with my pick. I'm going to actually agree with Tommy here. I have the Carolina Panthers as the 6th seed. I think they're good. I mean, with a run-heavy offense and getting back in the first round of the draft with Christian McCaffrey, their offense is going to be completely fine. I have no concerns about their offense. I think Cam Newton's going to go back to what Cam Newton usually is. I'm concerned about their defense, but I think they'll be able to hold it down at least decently. So yeah, that let's go to the two teams that we missed out. We're gonna go through these quickly, please, John. Let's go with just each person give out their two teams.
Okay. So
John,
both
go
at once?
first. So you can take an hour.
Both at once?
Both at once.
Okay. The Dallas Cowboys,
Okay.
because they're the Cowboys.
Okay, no reason. Let's just get.
They're not going to have a shitty year. And the, trying to think.
Did you not have it written down?
No, I do. I forgot. Okay, I got it. The Philadelphia Eagles.
What?
I think the Eagles have a chance to make the playoffs.
All right.
Good defense, Carson Wentz.
Now, John, now about your AFC teams.
Oh, for the AFC, I got Dolphins because, I mean, they're
Because you
still
don't
not,
like me enough.
they're still not a bad team. And I'm going to go the Broncos.
Okay.
Their defense is just too good.
Okay.
But they're not going to make the playoffs, but they'll be close.
Cal, go next. AFC and NFC, please.
All right. AFC, the two teams I mentioned earlier are the two AFC West teams that I think will just miss out. I think the Denver Broncos, it's just too hard. Like, I said defense win championships, but you need at least a decent offense, but I don't like anyone on that offense. I don't like Trevor Siemian. C.J. Anderson, to me, is extremely overrated. Emmanuel Sanders, I don't know how long he can keep it up, really. And ultimately, I just don't think it's a good enough team. Completely vice versa, their other division rival, the Los Angeles Chargers, terrible defense. Don't trust anyone in that defense except for Hayward. But on offense, you've got a very lethal offense. You've got Phillip Rivers, who I still feel is very good as long as he doesn't do what he did last year and just choke every game away in the fourth quarter. Melvin Gordon going to have a very good year this year, in my opinion. Keenan Allen, as long as he stays healthy, will be very good. Mike Williams will be very good next to him. Antonio Gates, another one of those players that just keeps on producing.
Okay.
He finds the fountain of youth. And what about your NFC?
Oh, you're right. Thank you. NFC, they're the one team that Tommy and Kevin had making the Carolina Panthers. I think it'll be close, but ultimately I can't trust the Panthers' defense or their offensive line. Cam got beaten to a pulp last year, and the defense literally just went from one of the most formidable defenses to Luke Kuechly and a bunch of people running around acting like football players. And I also have the Washington Redskins. I think they're in for a good year this year, but I don't think it's good enough.
Cal, excuse me. It's the Washington football team.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, the Washington football team. Washington they look good enough to be a good team. I mean, as long as Josh Norman doesn't complain even more about how he can't do that, and the fact that Kirk Cousins, I think, will be very good this year. I think Jordan Reed
like
will.
that? You like that?
You like that? I like that, but I don't like it enough.
Okay. Did Scott go over his?
No.
Go over his.
Okay. So my two AFC teams, after a long period of pondering, honorable mention the Texans, who I had at 9. But at 7, I have the Denver Broncos. Again, their defense is just too good to pass up. And at 8, I have the Miami Dolphins. And I see them being close, like the Broncos and the Texans, all fighting with the Chiefs and the Bengals for those wild card spots. I see the division winners being a little far ahead out of each other, but I feel like all the teams contending for the wild card are going to have their heads in their asses until week 17. And then for the NFC, I have in 7th the Cardinals. Even though Carson Palmer is really old, he could still get it done. And we've seen him get it done before. And he still has Larry Fitzgerald and David Johnson. Let's remember that. And in 8, I have the offense man by the guy who could spread money like it's toilet paper. The Detroit Lions. Now, I feel like with Stafford having and I'm pretty sure at the end of the year he was a little fatigued in the playoffs, but with a 100% Amir Abdullah and a Ziggy Ansah, who I think will have another really good season, I feel like they could still do some damage in the NFC.
Okay, Tommy.
Well, the Broncos. They're a good team.
All of your answers are they're a good team?
Well, because they
all
are.
of the teams
They are.
a good team, Scott. All right.
I know they are.
Okay, they're a pretty above average team. Are you happy now?
You
Pretty
can just
above
go back to saying they're a good team.
Okay, they're a great team.
No.
They have
They're
a great
good.
defense, and they have an average offense. I feel like they'll almost make the playoffs, but they won't.
Okay.
My other team, I'm gonna say the Kansas City Chiefs, the team that are in the Raiders division. Obviously, I knew that before.
No, you didn't.
All
They
right.
have a good team. I don't think they're good enough to make it. Definitely be close.
Okay. Now the NFC.
In the NFC, I have the Minnesota Vikings. I feel like I'm feeling something.
You're
Feel
feeling
like
something in the heart of Sam Bradford.
Sam Bradford is going to have a good year. You mark it immediately. I also have the Cardinals. They're a good team, Scott. They're a very good team.
Like
Not
I
good
said,
in the playoffs, but
Carson Palmer is a good quarterback.
he is a good
He's just
quarterback.
old.
He is old, but I feel like they could get close, but not there.
Okay. I'll go
Okay.
after my AFC ones. I'll go through these quickly, unlike some of you. John, excuse me.
Mine took the shortest.
I'm joking.
All right.
The joke, your head. So, okay, I kind of lost track of everything I was doing.
Yeah, I thought you were going to keep
Get
it
back
short.
on track now. For the AFC, I have the first team missing out. The Tennessee Titans. I think Marcus Mariota is not quite there yet, but I think he will be taking a major step forward this year. And the Denver Broncos. I don't know who their starting quarterback is, and if it is, it's really not that good. In the NFC, we have first team missing out, the Arizona Cardinals. I like that team. I think they compete with Seattle. I don't know if they compete enough to make the playoffs, though. And, sorry, Cal, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I like them. I really do, but I don't know how much of a step forward they're going to take this year. I don't know if, relatively speaking, I think, honestly, these South got better. And when a division gets better, you have to stick with them. And I could definitely be wrong. We could be looking back at this next season, and they could have won the Super Bowl. I really doubt that happens, but, you know,
No, it won't happen.
if it happens, I'll be pleasantly surprised. Other than that, I mean, I don't get me wrong. I definitely like their team. I just don't know if they have the pieces around to win everything. Let's go through the awards quickly. MVP first. John, who do you have as your MVP?
Aaron Rodgers.
No surprise there. Scott,
Aaron Rodgers.
no surprise there. Cal,
I'm really going to change my answer because I'm going to sound unoriginal. Aaron Rodgers.
oh
No
wow.
surprise. No surprise.
Tommy,
Russell Wilson.
oh,
Whoa.
I like that. I like that.
I want some more of that.
He's a good rusher. He can pass. Losing Jermaine, not going to be easy, but they still got a
But
great
he's
defense.
now the Jets' #1 wide receiver.
Yes, but
that's actually kind of
that's
surprising.
something for Russell Wilson. Not Aaron Rodgers. Russell Wilson, and he knows how to run, and he also has. So, if his wide receivers can catch the ball,
They'll win. So I'm going to just do mine, and then we'll go to the Defensive Player of the Year because obviously the Offensive Player of the Year is going to win MVP. I didn't know there was any surprise to that one. Aaron Rodgers. Wow, surprising, right?
Right.
We'll go to the Defensive Player of the Year. Let's begin with Cal. Who is your Defensive Player of the Year?
I think it's hard, but I think with his new addition to his new team, and he's really going to make the team a dominant force on defense, I think Dontari Poe is really an underlooked player for defensive player of the year, because you look at it, he's come into a team that really only had one good rusher in Vic Beasley. He's really going to help that team out. He's going to make sure that Matt Ryan doesn't have to score as many points, and ultimately, he is a big piece of the puzzle for Atlanta to finally win a Super Bowl.
Okay, that one's a little surprising.
That's a little surprising.
Scott, who do you have?
Okay, I have another player. I think it's a little more realistic than Cal's. I think it may be still a little out of the box. For my Defensive Player of the Year, I have Jadeveon Clowney.
Ooh.
That's just as out of the box as Dontari Poe, to be honest. But
over JJ.
I do like JJ, and I think it'll be really close. But I think the two of them with a healthy JJ Watt will have a really good combination on the Texan defense. But it won't take them far enough because Tom Savage is the starting quarterback.
Okay.
But yeah, I like Jadeveon Clowney as my pick for Defensive Player of the Year.
John, Defensive Player of the Year.
Landon Collins.
Whoa!
No, and that's not me. That's not biased. I actually think he made big.
No, not at all.
He made huge strides last year and was in the Defensive Player of the Year voting last year, and I think he'll go even farther and win it this year.
Okay, Tommy, who do you have?
JJ Watt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's good.
JJ Watt.
He's JJ Watt.
I'm gonna go with let's go with the repeater. I think Khalil Mack repeats.
All right.
I do like Khalil Mack. I think him, Carr, and Cooper are going to take the Raiders a long way this year.
Okay. Coach of the Year. This one should be easy. John.
Don't say it.
Don't say it.
Okay.
Don't say Bob McAdoo. Don't say Bob McAdoo.
Well, it's not Bob. I'm gonna go with Ben McAdoo because I think the Giants are going to have the second or third best record in the second best record in the NFC, not even third. I think they'll be behind the Packers. Or even first. They could win the NFC. They could get the first seed. The Giants are going to have a good season this year.
No, he's got a point here.
Ben McAdoo. If you look at the NFC, and my predictions, not saying that the Falcons are going to win their division, I think the Giants are going to be a top 3 team in the NFC rankings of division, because of course I don't see the Buccaneers really being at that caliber yet, but I see the Giants being up there, and I see them making huge strides, especially with that defense and improvement on offense, and I think Ben McAdoo can win Coach of the Year, honestly.
Okay. Scott, who do you have?
I have
Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles.
No. I have the coach of the team that I think is going to have the best record in the NFL this year, Mike McCarthy of the Green Bay Packers.
Okay, I have too many questions, but okay, what? Never mind. Cal, who do you have?
I hate to say it, but it's probably gonna be Bill Belichick. It's just the Patriots. The Patriots just look like such a good team again and again and again, and he's one of the reasons of why they're such a good team. He's able to develop the players that they need him to develop. I think he's going to do a very good job with the team again this year, and I think they're going to cruise that way to the Super Bowl. Win it. We'll see who comes out of the NFC. I think there's a good amount of teams who can beat the Patriots.
They're going to roll their windows down and cruise.
Oh my God.
Colts and cruise.
Okay. Okay. Tommy, who do you have? Coach of the Year.
Your mic's muted.
No, it's not.
Oh. Okay.
Bill Belichick. I'm going to go with Bill Belichick, too. I think they go 15-1 this year and win the Super Bowl.
One loss to the New York Jets.
Honestly, I hate being a Dolphins fan. I can't sometimes hate being a Dolphins fan for this one reason. Let's go offensive rookie of the year next. John, who do you have? Evan Ingram.
Actually, no.
Okay, thank God.
Thank God. He's got some sensitive.
I honestly think that offensive rookie of the year. There's a few ideas that I have of who could be offensive rookie of the year.
Listen.
Okay.
I've been sitting here for an hour and a half. Tell me who it is.
I've been sitting here waiting for offensive rookie of the year. Who is it?
Okay. Oh, wait, what's his?
Just say his
I
name.
can't.
Jesus.
I'm thinking.
McCaffrey?
No,
Okay.
it's that. Oh, Deshaun Kaiser.
Okay.
I think it would be Deshaun. I couldn't think of his name. I think it would be Deshaun Kaiser because the Browns announced he's gonna start, and although the Browns are a mediocre team, I think he's gonna have a good year and make people forget about the Browns and remember him.
You're right. They'll go 5-11.
Hey, that's better than last year. Improvement.
Scott, who do you
Cleveland.
have?
Cleveland.
Okay, even though I am still confused on how you guys think the team is going to do, I think overall this player is going to have a pretty good rookie campaign. My offensive rookie of the year is the running back for the Carolina Panthers, Christian McCaffrey.
Okay. Cal, who do you have? Sherman McNichols. Wait.
Nope, he got cut. You were the one who said it. I was like, I don't even know this McNichols guy. You're like, you know what? He might stay on your team for a little.
He got cut.
O.J. Howard.
Yeah,
No, because OJ is going to be more of a blocking tight end anyways. He's only really going to be.
That's why I picked Kaiser over him.
You know what? Yeah, I think this is just the obvious one in my opinion. I don't know how none of you guys have done there. Leonard Fournette's going to be unbelievable this year.
Yeah.
He's going to play on a bad team in the Jacksonville Jaguars, but this
Their O-line is shite.
His size, speed, and just pure power is going to drive the Jacksonville Jaguars to a
Couldn't
good
get
win
past
season.
Alabama's defense.
Not near the playoffs. Maybe there will be a few weeks where we're like, can they really make a challenge for their division? I think a lot of Jacksonville's wins this year will come from that man, Leonard Fournette.
Okay. Cal, let me know if you want him in fantasy. I'll take Zeke Elliott off your hand.
No.
Wow.
Oh,
Haven't even declined the trade in fantasy, and you're already saying no to it. Okay.
Oh, yeah, right. I haven't declined it yet.
Okay. Kind of offended by that one. Who are we waiting on?
You.
Topper.
Tomer. Caffrey. Okay.
You.
I'm gonna go with a little bit of a surprise one. Kareem Hunt. I think he'll struggle in his first game against the Patriots, but when you get a majority of the carries in a system like Kansas City, you'll be fine. Let's go to defensive rookie of the year, and
then
then
go first because I need to go quickly do something, and then I'll be right back.
All right, let's go.
Okay, my defensive rookie of the year is Marshawn Lattimore.
Surprising, I'll be honest. Are you going?
I'll be right back.
Did you call me?
Yes.
Yeah, go.
Okay. All right, my bad. Okay. Oh my God, I'm sorry. My defensive rookie of the year. It's hard because there's a lot of good defensive prospects in this draft, but I think kind of a quiet little one. I've said the Cardinals will definitely have a good season. I think Hassan Reddick's going to step into that team and be a very good player. He's built really well, 6'1", 237. He was a great player at Temple. Really was a part of the reason that Temple were so good these past few years. I think he's going to be a very good NFL-ready player.
Okay. John, who do you have?
Jamal Adams.
That's surprising.
I think on a rather mediocre Jets team, I think he can step up on defense. Because their defense isn't terrible. It's actually pretty decent, even without Sheldon Richardson now. So I think Jamal Adams can do well, and that's how the Jets will get some of their wins.
Wait a second. Okay.
Okay. Tommy, who do you have?
Miles Garrett.
I have Miles Garrett too. So,
So why? I honestly thought Tommy would say Jamal Adams.
Hold on.
To be honest, I was so torn between Reddick and Garyon Conley because I think Garyon Conley is going to be a big part for them.
Galvin Tomlinson.
okay. Let's go with let's end this off now, please, so we don't have to stay here for another 3 hours. Please, I have a draft in like 2 hours.
Mind games, top.
No,
That's tomorrow.
Mind games. Yeah. Oh, guys, by the way, tomorrow we have our Unfiltered Fantasy Football League draft.
Video.
We will be recording the draft and we'll be uploading it to the channel. And
Your
we will
winner.
be not talking a lot.
Your winner right here.
Wait, yeah, I am right here.
Trash until I actually.
Your winner's the one recording the videos.
Okay. Anyways, we'll go with AFC Championship.
We forgot comeback player of the year, buddy.
Okay, fine. Rashad Jones. Next question. No, I'm kidding.
JJ Watt.
Scott, who do you have for comeback player of the year?
JJ Watt.
AJ Watt. Okay, I'm not surprised.
Gronky.
Gronky poop. John.
Marshawn Lynch.
Okay. Cal.
Honestly,
Keenan
though.
Allen.
I have Rashad Jones, safety for the Miami Dolphins.
We
Now.
all have different players. Interesting.
Wait, who did Cal say?
Keenan Allen.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Anyways, let's go with AFC Championship and NFC Championship. Do this in one go. John, who do you have in the AFC and NFC Championship?
Okay.
And winners.
Now, can you pass? I need to think about this for a minute.
Scott, who do you have? NFC and AFC Championship.
Hold on. I am reading this.
Right, I'll do it, guys.
Okay.
I need to think about the seeding and how
I
it
got
works out.
I found it. Okay. New England over Oakland, Green Bay over Atlanta.
Quick and sharp. I like it. Cal, who do you have?
I'm gonna say Patriots over Steelers. I think it's the obvious matchup, and I'm going to say Falcons over Cowboys.
Okay.
Wait a second.
Who do you
Hold on a
have?
second. I think I just screwed up. Wait. So
I think
anyway. No, hold on. I screwed up. That would imply that the Bucks win their playoff game. No. Okay. So.
What happened?
Yeah, I kind of tried to go too biased there. I was like, wait a second, I didn't plan this out. Okay, but it's going to be the Falcons over the Packers.
Okay. God, Tommy. God, I don't know anyone's names now.
Go with the Patriots over the Raiders. Go with Packers.
Over the who?
The Cowboys.
Cowboys. All right.
Cowgirls.
Ready?
I'm going to say Packers over Giants
Oh,
in the NFC Championship. And in
Hey,
the,
Giants go to the Super Bowl. That's right.
and in the AFC Championship, I'm going to say Patriots over Steelers.
Okay, I'm going to go with mine. I'm going to start with the NFC. For the NFC, I have the Packers over the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks kind of more of a playoff team. I was surprised with some guys this year. And in the NFC, let's have some fun with this Patriots over Dolphins. Patriots over
I was
Dolphins.
going to say, Jesus Christ.
Over
Jay Cutler's
Dolphins.
Super Bowl quarterback. Hell no.
Hey, if that happens, can we make a movie out of it, please?
Wait, is
If that happens, I will never talk shit to you.
Jay Cutler from Super Zero to Super
that
Hero.
couldn't happen because the Dolphins would have to play them in the divisional.
Did I ever say the Patriots were going to be the first seed? Come on, man.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Ooh, controversy.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
All right, anyways, Super Bowl winners, who do you guys have?
I have the Patriots. Again,
Scott?
sadly.
Patriots over Green Bay. Even though I have Mike
Yeah,
McCarthy
same Patriots
winning
over Green Bay.
Coach of the Year.
Cal?
Falcons getting their revenge this year.
Whoa!
They might win. We have to address this right now. What are the odds that they win the Super Bowl 28-3?
Oh my god, that'd be so hilarious.
I want it to happen. Tommy, who do you have?
Green Bay over New England.
Okay. I'm going to go New England over Green Bay. I think was my other team. Yeah, it was Green Bay. So I guess that's gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, successful.
I'm gonna make a really shitty shoe joke there, but I won't do it. You're lucky. Football season starts in a week.
Let's
Get
go.
calendar ready. Never been more less mildly excited in my life.
Less mildly excited. Yeah.
No, Kevin, what are you talking about? The Marlins are... Oh, no, wait, you're not a Marlins fan. The
Yeah, I'm a
Cubs are...
Cubs fan. No.
The Cubs are...
The
making
Giants
the
are
playoffs.
last in the league.
We're sucking from
No,
here.
the Phillies are the last in the league.
We're second to the last. Come on,
Dansby
we're not that
Swanson's
bad.
my dad.
And
And other than that, guys, thanks for tuning
Join
in.
us tomorrow. Join us
Join us
tomorrow.
whenever this gets uploaded, and then whenever the fantasy football draft gets uploaded. Signing off as your 2017 Unfiltered Fantasy Football Champion.
I'm John Palazzo, and
I'm Kevin Rock.
wait, did I hear Scott just say I'm Cal Friedman?
No, I did not. No, I did not say that.
Oh.
I did not say that.
Anyways,
I did not say that. John, you are deaf.
Anyways, alongside Cal, Tommy, John,
Kevin and Tommy, I'm John
your fantasy
Palazzo.
football champion, Kevin Fielder.
No.
Later.
fuck.
No.
Dad!
No.